Right, we start off with the standard madness of a nation. That's a big headline on the front page of this paper. They talk about anarchy. The country is teetering on the edge as goons take over the streets. Political violence is becoming the new normal, with armed gangs attacking opposition leaders and disrupting their meetings. Those charged with safeguarding the nation's security, that's Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and PS Raymond Omolo, stand accused by critics of allowing politics to overshadow their constitutional duty to protect life and property. President William Ruto has remained conspicuously silent. Unless decisive action is taken, the country risks a complete breakdown of law and order. Now, it is barely 3 days to the much anticipated by-elections in Olkalau, and I think this is directly linked to that, because the politics in Olkalau has reached fever pitch. As you say, the campaigns are ending today.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening. And a number of people have died because of politics. Yes, and leaders have been attacked. Now, and I'm not suggesting anything, but the problem is that the latest violence meted against leaders of the Linda Mwananchi in Nyandarua may be confused or construed to have been to have come from different directions. Remember, they had been warned, wasipeleke Kierere huko.
Yeah.
But also, there's Goons who many people say are affiliated to the UDA candidate as well. So kuna shida pale, kuna shida pale. The thing is, Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Interior, has kept on talking about Rigathi Gachagua. Yeah, surely. Surely, Kipchumba Murkomen, surely, is that the country's priority? Rigathi Gachagua? Tuko na shida mingi sana. Oh, na shinda tu hapa, Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi. Surely, come on. Anyway, so that's a big story on the front page hapa, na kuna picha ya magari ambayo yameharibiwa and sura za watu tinginya. Wanaitwa
yes, misuli tinginya.
Misuli tinginya.
Watu wenye misuli tinginya.
Sura zilikuwa zinasemekana zimefanya. Kuna sura na misuli tinginya. Ziko hapo kwenye kurasa mbele. Goons. Let's take a look at other stories inside this paper. Price of survival, how cancer is driving families into poverty and debt. And you've heard these stories, yes. Read the story on page 2, because cancer really is affecting families in a very
I'll have to take you back to the front page. You know, surprisingly, this photo here, where, you know, Easy Machetes, Easy Meaty, this is a photo from Kisumu. Is that Kisumu residents?
Back in the day, or a recent photo?
Yesterday.
Now see, there's a panelist of mine who was here last week, and he kept on insisting that Kisumu is very peaceful.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening.
So Edwin Sifuna and of course Manjimi, James Orengo, yeah, they were having some sort of, I think they were talking to residents of Kisumu, and they were allegedly
They were
attacked.
accosted by these people.
Yeah, with these guys here. There's a photo from Kisumu, and then this car vehicle, this one is from Irungu Kangata's rally yesterday.
In Nyandarua.
Yes, in Nyandarua. This man here is his driver, was shot by a rubber bullet. And then this other photo on the, this is, on the right, this is a photo, I think it's still from Irungu Kangata's rally.
Very unfortunate. You know, it's exactly now a month, a year and less than a month.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 1 year to elections. Yeah. And these are the issues. Invasive crows land in Nairobi and trigger conservation concerns. After decades confined to the coast, the destructive birds have been spotted around the city's stadium. Have you witnessed this? The crows everywhere in Nairobi. Yeah. Is it those little Owang? Owang. That's an interesting story there. One shot at Linda Mwananchi Uhuru rally ends in chaos. We've talked about that. Political violence escalates ahead of Olkalau poll as leaders attacked. We've also talked about that as well. Mbeere North power transformers are back. You know, last week we were talking about, transformers and Mbeere zilitolewa. Kenya Power issued a very long statement saying that, no, we were just servicing the 14 out of 15. Can you imagine 14 transformers in your area being taken for servicing at the same time?
Yeah.
So they were all taken for servicing.
Mchezo wa town.
Watu walipo complaints ikarudishwa zote, they are back, wacheni. But either way, can you imagine wherever you live right now, they can come for 15 transformers for service at the same time. zenyu zote zimeharibika, 15 of them, we're coming to service them now. Wewe wacheni mambo yenyu wewe. Ukrainian database names 59 Kenyans killed in Russian war. People are still fighting in the Ukraine-Russia war. And patients demand answers over expired ARVs. We talked about this issue a lot last week. The fact that
Substandard.
Expired
medicine and expired medicine.
Yes, it's still a big deal. Yeah. But I tell you, it's because there's no money. USAID walitoka, US wakatoka kwa WHO, meaning there's no money to fund for ARVs. Order of distress, how pollution, climate, stress are producing a foul smell in Lake Victoria. Ulienda nyumbani?
No, I was here in the city. I went to watch a play on Femicide. Kule my alma mater.
Kwa hivyo huwezi jibu hii swali.
Hiyo sasa sina habari.
On the back page, rub eyes in disbelief, but it's Messi next. So Messi is still in the World Cup. Ronaldo left. All the biggest players at the World Cup you're talking about or you ever felt big football players are out. Watu wamebaki ni Messi na watu wa Arsenal.
Yes.
Watu wa Arsenal wako Spain, wako France na wako England. Team kubwa.
Waongete.
Arsenal all over. Apart from Messi. Yeah. So far, World Cup top scorers, Kylian Mbappe at 8 goals. Lionel Messi also a top goal scorer. Erling Haaland of Norway, although Norway left. They've exited. Harry Kane of England, 6 goals. Jude Bellingham of England as well. So, sio mbaya. Bukayo Saka ako pale, a number of assists. And Martin Odegaard. So Bukayo Saka could actually increase his number of assists as we get to the semi-finals of the World Cup. That's a standard. All
right. Taifa Leo ni Domo kaya tu. That's the main headline on the front page of Taifa Leo this morning. Nani analala kazini? Jana misafara ya Linda Mwananchi jijini Kisumu na Nyahururu ilivamiwa huku watu kadhaa wakijeruhiwa na mali kuharibiwa. Uhuni huu unajiri siku moja baada ya ghasia kuripotiwa baina ya makundi ya kampeni ya DCP na UDA Olkalou na wiki moja baada ya mashambulizi ya Keumbu Kisii. Visa hivi vinajiri licha ya serikali chini ya Wizara ya Usalama wa Ndani, Idara ya Polisi na Tume ya Uchaguzi IEBC zikiendelea kusema bila kutenda. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili. Wanasema visa vya uhuni jana dhidi ya mikutano ya Linda Mwananchi vinaanika serikali kama inayosema tu bila kutenda. Wameita uhuni. Waziri wa Usalama wa Ndani Kipchumba Murkomen, Inspector General wa Polisi Douglas Kanja na mwenyekiti wa IEBC Erastus Edung Ethekon. You know, on Saturday I saw the Standard wali cover, okay, they did on the dailies on Saturday. They call it is it selective justice or selective something?
Where the IEBC is actually punishing one side more than the other.
Yes.
Letu jicho tu tunaona. And if at all that's the trend, then probably that's what we should expect next year.
Yeah.
Bwana Ethekon, jaribu. You know, the thing about justice is not just about it being done. It has to be seen to be done.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Sawa. Vidokezo zaidi. Kampeni Olkalou ni lala salama leo. Yes, we've talked about the story. Campaigns ends today in Olkalou. Umoja wa upinzani katika mizani. Dalili za mgawanyiko zimejitokeza baada ya Gachagua kumrukia vikali Governor Kang'ata. Yes, and this is what it's being talked about. They were told not to go campaign in Olkalou. Nyandarua?
Yeah.
Nyandarua and Olkalou in one place.
Nyandarua is a county. Olkalou is just a constituency in Nyandarua.
Yes, so they were told they can't campaign in Nyandarua, and yes, hawa watu walienda kucampaign.
But that's very interesting because they're campaigning for the same candidate.
Yes, and that is, are they campaigning for the same candidate?
Okay, I'm not so sure which candidate they're campaigning for, but because, okay, fine, that's probably what we should question. So who exactly are Linda Mwananchi campaigning for in Nyandarua? Are they campaigning for the DCP candidate? Because there are 9 candidates in total. There's a PNU candidate, there's a Jubilee candidate. So Linda Mwananchi walikuwa na kampeni ya nani? Ama walikuwa tu wanaenda kupiga kelele? Olkalou.
Oh yeah. Wacha tu hope.
Akaambua musilete kirere huku.
Yes, so that is what is happening in Olkalou. Mbadi apinga kesi ya mkopo wa shilingi trilioni 7, and we're going to talk about this in another newspaper. That waziri na mwanasheria mkuu hawataki kesi ya kubaini uhalali wa deni iendelee kotini. And that's Taifa Leo. Kule juu kwa Binzaro miili ilizikwa bila nguo wala jeneza. This was another shakahola too. still in Kilifi County. Vifo hivyo vilitokea msituni Chakama mwaka jana. Very, very, very sad state of affairs there. And junior starlets wafuzu kombe la dunia tena. And that's the Taifa Leo.
All right, from Taifa Leo, let's take a look at the Daily Nation. Moment of truth for Uhuru-Ruto, 7 trillion shilling loans. And you know, there have been so many attempts to actually divide the two. Say, Uhuru is different from... Imekata. The Kenya Kwanza government has launched a fresh bid to hold proceedings in a landmark constitutional case challenging the legality of 6.95 trillion shillings in public debt, with Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and Attorney General Dorcas Oduor filing fresh applications to stop the hearing scheduled for October. Now, and they've broken down this public debt from 2025-2026, how much it was, na zile zingine all the way from 2018 vile zimepanda zikapile mpaka ikafika 12 trillion shillings public debt. Kuna wale wanasema this is odious debt, this is debt that we should not be paying as Kenyans, that it was taken and directed elsewhere. But yes, if you've been following issues around Kenya's sovereign debt or national debt, the story is on page 4 of this paper. Read about it. Kenya under-17 girls hit South Africa to qualify for FIFA World Cup. This is rarely talked about.
Yeah.
The starlets. Now, these are the junior starlets, not the main starlets. The junior starlets, picture there of them celebrating, scoring against South Africa to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup at the Nyota Stadium in Nairobi yesterday. Yeah, so that's a big one. They have a picture here of this lady who lost the Glee Hotel. Najua ile deni ya 7 billion.
Mary Wanjiru.
Wewe uko na deni ya fuliza ya 3,000 hata si 400 inakusumbua. Kuna mtu ako na deni ya bank ya 7 billion.
Yes.
Yeah. How mixing business with politics has humbled the rich. That's a headline on page 3. And they have the image there of Mary Wambui, who used to be a very close friend to the president,
Yes.
William Ruto.
Oh, it's Mary Wambui, not Wanjiru.
No,
It's Wambui.
yes, she's Wambui. Yeah.
Okay.
Sasa sijui kulienda aje, sijui kwa nini nilisikia Gachagua akisema nilikwambia utakulwa tu.
Okay. She was appointed to a state board.
She is the chairperson of the Communications Authority.
Nice.
Yeah. Pale juu Linda Mwananchi leaders condemn attacks in Nyahururu and Kisumu, and this is the continued cases of goonism, and especially linked to politics, where you hold a rally. Rally somewhere, then people show up and disrupt your rally. And that story is in the inside pages. Lobbies want Utumishi girls barred from reopening Domo. Yeah, they don't want that Domo reopened. They want that banned. The Kenya Human Rights Commission have filed a case seeking to stop the reopening of the Melin Waithera dormitory in Utumishi girls, where 16 girls died in an arson attack. Yes, remember that 8 girls are already facing murder charges for that. All right. Story nyingi kule ndani. Moment of truth for Uhuru-Ruto loans, hiyo tumezungumzia. Thwake Dam completion shelved again. Bitter campaigns in Olkalau, we've talked about that. Alafu Ethekon amesema Goons will cost you the ballot. But sijui kama... The issue is, do you feel like anyone is handling this issue of goonism?
No, we're taking it very lightly, very casually. We are treating it like, you know, ni kitu ya kukuja na kupita. And I think this sets the precedence for next year's general election. So if it's not taken care of right now, then what are we anticipating?
Because the feeling is there's a lot of blame game, and you feel by blaming the other person, you've sorted out the issue.
Yeah.
Including by the CS for Interior. It's like he feels, if I blame Gachagua, then the problem is sorted.
Yeah.
If I blame someone else, the problem is sorted. No, it is not sorted.
Yeah.
And this one, I can tell you directly, Kipchumba Murkomen, this is your job. Whether Gachagua is a problem, whether who is a problem, this is your job. Can you just do it? Tuongee baadaye. Fanya kazi. Kama uwezi, sema umeshindwa. That's it. On the back page of this paper, Matters World Cup, 2026 FIFA World Cup, now getting to the semi-finals. Argentina ride on attacking depth to storm into semi-finals. Now, the semi-finals, 4 teams remaining, playing on Tuesday. France versus Spain. I think this is the biggest game of the
season. Of the World Cup.
No, I almost said the century. No, it cannot be the century, but of the decade. France versus Spain at the World Cup, that's a big game. Yes. Also, England versus Argentina. If Argentina lose, it means this is, I don't know why I'm foreseeing a France versus England final. Yeah. Lakini hiyo ni mimi tu. Wengine sijui wanasemaje. That's a Daily Nation today.
All right. Tuangalie People Daily sasa. They talk about Nyota Fund, illusion of a windfall, they call it that. That youth face harsh economic realities and collapse. That after receiving what many see as a lifeline, beneficiaries are coming face to face with financial ruin as their capital is rapidly swallowed by county levies, expensive energy, and aggressive taxation. There's a story on page 4. But I think President William Ruto ordered counties to waiver, what is it called? You see that thing where you have to register your business and, I don't know, just...
Yeah. Some of those permits.
Yeah, the permits,
yes.
President ordered counties to waiver that for these beneficiaries of the Nyota Fund. So, People Daily, what's up? That story is on page 4. President William Ruto captured there taking photos with some of the beneficiaries at Ulinzi Sports Complex. On the top strip, when a ruling party buys what it can no longer earn. That's the story on page 12. At what it can no longer earn. What was that? That story is on page 12. You can grab sahi unajua People Daily iko sahi rahisi.
Wananunua.
Just download the app.
Wananunua so they don't have the goodwill. I think that's what they're suggesting. Like what is happening in Nyandarua.
Yeah.
That they can no longer earn the votes directly. So they're buying.
There's a mattress.
Wanapeana mattress ya GOK. Can you imagine sleeping on a GOK mattress?
Hiyo ni ya wageni unaweka guest.
Unaamuka hivi ndoto na kuona government of Kenya. Unaweza shindo kulala tena.
Oh yeah, that's what they're talking about, the politics of tokenism.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the People Daily.
All right, from the People Daily, we take a look at the Star. Why new Sacco bill has, and yeah, this one is fresh, independent, and different. And it's not even, okay, anyway. Why new Sacco bill has raised great interest while everyone else is talking about politics and the issue of goonism and other issues. Then we're talking about the wave of panic sweeping through Kenya's financial bedrock. That story is on pages 4 and 5. Let's take a look at what they're talking about because many may miss, because kila mtu anazungumzia mambo ya Olkalau, lakini the Star, being fresh, independent and different, have a totally different story that they did not care to explain on the front page. The truth, half-truths and falsehoods about proposed Sacco laws. There's been a lot of discussion about what will happen to Saccos.
Yeah.
Ati pesa yenyu itachukuliwa sijui ipelekwe wapi. Unajua pesa ya NSSF ilipelekwa kwa infrastructure fund.
Yeah.
Sawa nasema hata ya Sacco itachukuliwa. So you can read. Government dismisses propaganda. Yeah? Asema all those claims are propaganda. A viral claim that a state intends to raid Sacco savings to finance key national infrastructure projects. But the issue is, are you really concerned about your savings? Unajua, this is not a statutory deduction.
Yeah.
This is not what you pay for NSS. This is not even what you pay for housing levy. These are your savings.
Your money.
Your money.
Yeah.
Pesa umesema, hata ungesema sahi nimetoka hiyo Sacco, bado ni pesa yako, unarudi unaenda. Alafu unasikia, hata hiyo tunakujia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a claim. Those are the rumors. Okay, yes, but the government claims those are falsehoods and half-truths. So read this story on page 4 and 5 of the Standard, of the Star rather, to understand exactly what they're saying about Sacco financing. Mimi niliambia watu ukitaka, if you're in a Sacco, just make sure you have a loan
From the Sacco.
from the Sacco.
Ndio ima pesa ikienda uko na loan.
No, kuna pesa yao.
Wewe.
That is the only secret. Okay, that's me. It is not a professional. It is not a professional opinion.
That is theft.
All right. So the Star, and I like the way they've put this photo of a player playing football, pale juu, kwa hiyo nini ya the Star.
Yeah.
Other quick highlights on the front page, they talk about the violence witnessed as well. Violence rocks Linda Mwananchi event in Kisumu. Armed youth men charged towards ACK. And the interesting thing is that these are armed men, armed youth. Na polisi wamesimama na wao.
Yeah.
Police are there. You can actually see them in uniform. talking to them, si ati kuwajaribu kuwasimamisha, just talking to them, ile mnasikiaje leo. Anyway.
Wakwadi na machete literally when I swipe kwa ground. You know, I saw somebody made a comparison of what is happening in Kisumu and what is happening in Olkalau. You see Olkalau watu wameshika gas and their mattresses, and then in Kisumu they have the machetes and these rungus.
I wish today I had Wakili Nyamori in studio, because he insists, in Kisumu we no longer do violence. We don't. These are young men in Kisumu. They are unhappy because
it's also my first time seeing something like this in Kisumu.
Either they've been paid or they've come out by themselves, but either way, my biggest concern is how come police officers in uniform are just interacting with them. Wanafaa kufukuzwa haraka sana. Any other quick highlights on the front page of this paper? Ruto to Kalonzo, I won't abandon Ukambani even if you cannot join me. Kwani was he to join him?
Alimwambia anaweza mjoin, I guess.
Kakosana sababu mmoja alikataa kujoin mwingine. Hii ni siasa, unakubali tu. Boards, CEOs face exit as MPs push to abolish state agencies is another story there. Na hiyo story ya Dangote, 2 trillion shilling Lamu refinery plan faces activist opposition. Why would people oppose this thing? Why would someone have resistance against this plan? The story is on page 2. Plans by Aliko Dangote to build a giant oil refinery in Lamu are facing resistance from environmental groups. Read more on that story on page 2 of this paper. Kama kawaida, back page, Matters World Cup, they're focusing on Messi. A reason to worry, they ask. Excitement as Messi set for first England meeting on international stage. He has never met England at the World Cup or on an international stage. Lionel Messi. Remember, Ronaldo is out, so Lionel Messi remains the only GOAT. Mbuzi ni mmoja.
Bora ni mbuzi. What ni mbuzi?
Bora ni mbuzi. Right,
Business Daily.
Yes.
How 299 billion shillings fees crushed Mao's summit toll road deal. A very interesting read on page 2. Pact to give French firms 23 billion shillings yearly for 13 years. Uhuru era contract terminated in favor of Chinese company. Yeah, that's the story on page 2. On the ticker, MPs revive push to lower wholesale power tariffs. They have revived the push to compel big power producers to lower wholesale prices. They sell electricity to Kenya Power in an effort to ease pressure on consumers. And that's the Business Daily this morning.
All right. We're still having challenges getting newspapers from Uganda. Hapo kuna shida. Najua waliambiwa na ule Mhozi Kairenu Gaba, you will not continue printing newspapers here. Mzee amekataa hiyo maneno. So let's go straight to Tanzania, and we start off with the Citizen. Sefue's advice on rallies and Gen Z and parenting. You know, and I like the fact that in Tanzania, if you they're facing the same problems like Kenya, but only wako nyuma sana in terms of where we are. This is when they're talking about Gen Zs and rallies. So there's a safe advice by Ambassador Naitwa Sefue. Some of the ambassador has urged young people to build their lives and careers brick by brick rather than chasing quick success driven by the digital age. Unafikiria wanamsikiza? Unafikiria wanamsikiza?
Ni inaingia kwa masikio moja inatoka hiyo nyingine.
Kuna mtu anasema ati huyu ni kama Sifuna wao. At least Sifuna Kenya watu wanamsikiza. Yes. This is a Citizen. And Nyota Sefue is a former chief secretary and veteran diplomat, Ambassador Ombeni Sefue. Amekuja anapatia mawaidha Gen Z. Gen Z huwa wasikizi. Yeah. If you have Gen Zs in your household, you know. They just don't listen. Wow. Okay. Gazeti la Mwananchi, bado habari ile Sefue afunguka kisa maandamano Gen Z. Unafikiria tukija hapo tunakaa Gen Z, nyinyi mnafaa kuangalia, nyinyi ndio kizazi cha kesho. Nyinyi ndio they don't care. They just don't care. Walikuwa mahojiano maalumu na gazeti hizi mbili. Sefue asema maandamano ni moja ya haki muhimu za kidemokrasia na kikatiba. Ataja mambo ya kuzingatiwa, aeleza hofu yake kuhusu mwenendo wa Gen Z. Agusia uwezo wao katika teknolojia. Gen Z hata ukiwa na hofu, hiyo hofu ni yako. You do nothing. You know, have you ever come across a generation that just doesn't care?
Yes, I'm coming across it now. We are all coming across it.
Now you're feeling it.
Now, yes.
At least we cared, the millennials. Okay, and guys who are older than millennials.
Exactly.
Let's come back home and take a look at the cartoons. And we start off